Hello and welcome to Dancer Support Mission by Sabine Chalon for Shine Your Light. Today we have a new episode of Dancer to Dancer Words of Wisdom. The goal of those interviews is to meet the person behind the dancer and share with you all not only the highlights of someone's career, but also the challenges behind the scenes. Truly, my wish is to bring healing into the dance world, dancing to heal, healing to dance, one artist at a time and one personal story at a time. Hopefully, this will allow you to embark or reflect on your own personal healing journey inspired by others' experiences. So today, I'm delighted to welcome Ruta. I will not say your last name because, you're going to say it yourself.
I should change it long ago.
Anyway, my friend Ruta, who I met when I was dancing with the Dutch National Ballet. Ruta is a very, very special dancer. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like you. I think whether it was in classical or in modern, you were very, a true artist. I always enjoyed watching you, and I was always very inspired because I think you took every step to a different dimension. You were very extreme in your movement. So if you can check her out, I'm sure you have some videos on YouTube, but really a special person. So Ruta, I know you're a very busy lady between your family life, your new career now that we're going to talk about. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Sabine. It was a pleasure to receive your message. It was really like a sunshine.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. So, you have a lot to share with us. So we're going to start from the beginning because, I always like to know where people start from, because I think that's the great, to see what was your journey, to decide to be a dancer and how you started dancing and why you wanted to dance. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was, I think I didn't have a specific moment where I knew I want to dance, because I think as long as I can remember myself, I wanted to dance. So there was no such moment. I suppose later my mother told me that she always wanted to dance and it was her dream.
Okay.
So maybe just she passed through the blood to me some dreams of hers. I don't know.
But it's something to want to dance, and it's another thing to go into a professional, school
Yes.
and start doing it, 8 hours a day. I mean, when was that moment?
Yes, that moment it was, I think when I was around 6 or 7 years old, and my parents took me to the theater, and I saw Sleeping Beauty. And I remember, I still remember like it was yesterday, the picture, the costumes, the atmosphere, the smell. I don't know, I was in the world that, I belonged in, or it belonged to me, something like this, that suddenly it's just hit me. And my mom said I was standing all 3 acts without taking a seat, on my tiptoes watching it. And so, I think that was the moment. Since that point, I asked my father to bring me to the school, ballet school in Vilnius, in the capital city of Lithuania, where I'm from. But I had to wait a few more years to be able to enter that school. And so this waiting, I remember as such a long period of time, because I wanted to get into the school and start studying as quick as possible. And in the end, they accepted me, and there was in those days it was still like Soviet Union. Lithuania was in Soviet Union, so from all Soviet Union kids, little kids were collected, and there was a big competition to get in and everything. So somehow I succeeded, and then my journey started. Yeah.
So you did all your schooling in this Vilnius school?
Yes, I did all my study, and then later 4 years of the company life, because in Lithuania in those days it was the only national ballet school where you could start studying ballet.
Mm-hmm.
There were no other choices.
Okay.
And yeah, so all my years I did there, but by the end of that school, I had a chance to go abroad for competitions.
Okay.
And so those one was Lausanne, Prix de Lausanne, and that opened my eyes because yeah, in those days,
Yeah.
it was a very closed, still very closed world. So all we could see was coming from the East. All the ballet news and ballerinas that we admired were seen only, yeah, from the videos of the from the Russian side.
Yeah.
And it was very, very little and almost impossible to find something from the West coming. So I was, yeah, in shock. My first experience was in shock that
So what year was Lausanne then for you then?
It was 1994, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, it was also unexpected success there because my first competition abroad, and I took the first prize.
Wow.
So yeah, and I remember they were well, the rumors are always there, no? And my teachers, I remember, were saying, "Oh, the jury is deciding because there was a Vishneva, the Diana Vishneva, also."
Wow.
And so they were not sure, you know, about the first places. So they decided to give her the Grand Prix, no, because there is one above first prize, no. And so it was also for me really a memorable moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then did you join the company right after that?
No, I still had 1 more year or 2 more years to go at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I joined the company. Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
so you spent what, 4 years in Vilnius? Is that what you said?
Yes, I spent 4 years with the National Opera and Ballet Theatre. And also, yeah, I was accepted as a principal dancer there. So
you
again,
started as a principal dancer.
I started, yes, quite.
That's
quite.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it all, now that I say it, it seems amazing to me. But in those days, yes, it was also amazing in those days because you don't, you need to spend like 5 years in the corps de ballet before you end up as a principal.
Yeah,
That's
at least.
that was a rule. Exactly. So I don't know. It's destiny. It's luck. I don't know what was it.
It's talent, maybe, no?
Well, you know, there are many talented and many hardworking and many. Yeah, I don't know what was it. I cannot answer.
Okay. So then
there.
after that you joined the Dutch National, and I remember very well because Rudi was actually talking about you to Wayne, and he was like, "This girl is amazing, and you know you should take her." And I think that's how Wayne took you, right, from a video, even he didn't even see you.
No, it was a story.
Oh yeah, I want to hear the story.
A funny story. Because yes, Rudi van Dantzig, he saw me in competition, another competition in Jackson, Mississippi, international ballet competition. And yeah, there I was again lucky enough to earn the prize. But during that competition, Rudi was a jury member. And so after it, he said, look, why don't you try Amsterdam company, the National Ballet? And then somehow it stuck in my mind. I was already working in Vilnius, in Lithuania. It stuck in my mind, and then I remembered also all the things I saw while traveling for other things in the ballet world that is much wider than initially was presented to me. And so I sort of got infected with this
idea.
with idea, exactly, to join any company, but outside of the ex-Soviet Union. And so at that moment, it was still, we had to have visas to travel. So I remember Wayne Eagling, we agreed that I will come for audition, and because he was at that time the director. So we agreed on the day and everything, and I had such trouble arranging visas. I didn't know until the last moment if I will be able to come or not, to leave or not. And then the day that I was able to go, I got my neck got so stuck I could not turn, you know, completely blocked.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, that was my audition also with a collar, you know.
So you came.
But I came, yeah.
With the collar. I don't remember this. I mean, I was in the company, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It was also maybe I did a class or a half of the class, something like this. That was not very. But I remember then already seeing rehearsals of Balanchine. I think you did the Symphony in C or something like this. So I already remember faces. And yeah, and then it started at the National Ballet. Yeah.
Wow. But what amazes me is that you were super strong actually in modern pieces. I mean, like in Christoph or, you know, Christoph Pastor. I mean, that was like it felt like it was so natural for you. You were almost like recreating it, you know, you were making it your own thing. It was great.
You know, I always say, when you don't have a perfect physique or
stop it.
Yes. Well, it is what it is. Yeah. You know, a perfect line or perfect, like the one that you imagine for classical ballet. You have to invent something, no?
Yeah. Yeah,
but that is also becomes your strong point in the end, because you are reinventing and reinventing and reinventing, and everything that flows, that has a progression, it's I think yeah, it fits with time better.
Yeah. I think it's a very important point for younger dancers, you know, because ballet is so codified, and it's still you know, there's so much tradition in it. It's so regulated, but I mean, like imagination and your own, you know, your own creation is so important. And I mean, you definitely were one of an example for that, because you came from the Russian system, you know, that is very square.
Yes, and I must say, in my mind, I was also very square, because of course a build up for a kid, if you build up years and years of certain way of teaching, it's not easy to get rid of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And not for everybody fits, but because probably, I had really, I was inspired by seeing other lines, seeing so much difference. It's not only one flat, all perfect line or something like this. They were, and tall and small, and tall girls were doing girls that are supposed to be done by little girls. You know, in Lithuania, I was told, you know, unconsciously, I was already in my mind a little bit more open than maybe was expected me to be, because I was saying, maybe not too seriously, but I want to do a swan, you know, in the Swan Lake, for example, and they were telling me, laughing at me, telling me, Swan Lake, you know, with your height. Yeah. And then I came to Amsterdam and I saw everybody doing Swan Lake, and perfect swans, being quite little, small, the ballerinas, beautiful. So yeah, it was already. I was not fitting in the, how say, in my system.
The mindset of the Russian system.
But it was also a shock once I came, because I also didn't speak English. Yeah. Or any other language. I understood a bit French, but yeah, I was very shy also.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Yeah.
imagine it's a shock to get into this company, you know.
It was a shock, yeah. And also, for example, to see I don't know, maybe it was only in this company such a equality between the levels of dancers that I remember Gael came to me to give a hand and say hello. A principal dancer, a star, comes to some new person and says hello. It was incredible.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's true. So what would you say was your biggest challenge, as whether in school or in a company, what was your biggest challenge ever as a dancer?
Biggest challenge, I think, I think as all ballet dancers, we are very, very self-critical. And so it is always every single line that is not perfect, according to my view, let's say, of the beauty, is a challenge. I think, a challenge for me was also to speak for my own rights. Let's say, like now, I think people are young people are much more confident in presenting themselves.
Well,
So
I
for me,
wouldn't
it
say
was,
confident, but they are, let's say, they are taught how to do it. So
yeah, maybe yes, they are exactly. They
at
are
least they know
prepared
it's
for.
possible, whereas in our time we actually didn't really know. We had
No,
to figure it out.
no, exactly. You sort of you work in your little world, and you expect that you don't expect even, but you think because of your work, you will, I don't know, be presented with some, I don't know, nice role or something like this.
And it's
Not
not
more than
obvious.
that. Yeah. But yeah, you need to learn. Especially, I think nowadays it's very, before it was very important, but especially now it becomes even more and more important, this sort of attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways, actually, you know, because,
It
you know,
goes both ways.
you open your
Yes.
mouth for when you don't have anything to offer. That's also another.
Also, also true.
So it's interesting.
Needs to be balanced.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
And
That's true.
but as a student, I mean, was it the same thing as well, or did you have a challenge that was different as a student that you had as a dancer in the company?
Yeah, I think in general, I really liked challenges. Like deep inside, without a challenge, I would not move a finger, I think. I'm very lazy person. So every challenge I see, I take it. Of course, it gives me stress and worry and everything, but I need it. So I think, I think every little, I don't know if people could relate, but every little thing like in class tendu, for me it became a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
Or turn out à la seconde, it was a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
So conquering these little challenges daily, for me it was
So you
my sort
enjoyed
of.
that, basically. That was part of pleasure.
Yes, indeed, it gave me a pleasure to to suffer.
Overcome your challenges. Well, it's wonderful. I mean, you know, some people look at the challenge and they can't, you know, they freeze. But you know, so it's nice to see that it can be a motivation too, to have a
Yes,
challenge.
yes, but I think also it's a bit it was taught that way
Yeah.
to overcome your challenge, to actually to look for challenge. It was I was told if you skip one day of work, you skipped three. So I was working through the weekend. Let's say I was traveling home to another city, and I was still working, doing my bar there, or stretching. I don't know, in strange, also all sort of. I took out. I don't know if I can tell. Took out the shelves out of the wardrobe from my grandfather. I went inside. I put my leg. You know, these kind of things.
So,
Also.
as a physiotherapist, would you recommend that now? So because the
Don't
beauty
compromise me.
when I read what you sent me as your bio, I really enjoyed that you said, you know, I was so injured during my career. I spent so much time at the physio, you know, that it was almost natural for me to go and learn it. So would you tell us about your transition, you know, how, when you decided to stop dancing, and, you know, how did that go actually? Another challenge, by the way, because I mean, you like challenges, right? That's what you said.
It was, yeah, one of the challenges that I was really confronted unexpectedly. That I must admit, yes. But yes, I had during the career, because yes, I didn't have a body that is classically built for a ballet as a style of dance, no. So I was really forcing it. And so I had also at school, but later during the career, it was very often interrupted by the periods of injury and then recovery, and again injury and again recovery. So I was, I think already, I was like 15, 16 when I was operated for meniscus. Then I broke my back, then ankle, then yeah, all these kind of ballet related things.
But you also had very loose joints though, no? Because
maybe that's why also, maybe
yeah.
that's why, yes. And I must say, if I knew many things that I know now, I would such a kid, such a body, I would surely prepare differently. At least give an information on what to work on, what to strengthen, what to stretch, how to work, when to work. I would, would completely change from the very beginning my whole.
But do you think you would have been open at that time to do
That's
this?
a good question.
The problem, right?
That's a very good question. Yes, I often think, would I be able to accept all the guidance from someone else?
Yeah.
Yes, the certain things you need to go. I think injuries teaches you a lot. So at least one injury to have in your career, it gives you a good background how to proceed with your career, because you need to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
Without experiencing, it's I think any advice that comes from outside is not cannot be fully accepted or understood also.
It's like life. I mean, you know, you can
It's
tell
like
your
life.
kids whatever you want to tell them, but you know,
Yes.
until they put their head in there, they don't really understand what it is.
Exactly. Now I'm learning the hard way.
Because you have three, right?
I have three, and yes, I'm really learning life lessons. well, things that how say, my mother told me I had when I was little. Now I see in my kids, and that is something
amplified, right? It's like it's like 10 times bigger.
Exactly. I could not believe in the beginning. I said, no, it's impossible. I was much better, much less stubborn, and much less much nicer to everybody, listening and everything. No, it's the same. So I agree. It's and also, let's say, now as a therapist, for me, it's also in the beginning, once I started, when I saw dancers and you are full of good wishes, goodwill to help, and how come it's not coming through, and then with years, only with years, I realized, yes, you can say something and it might come that moment, or it might come to a dancer 10 years later.
Yeah.
But it is only that you can do. Be there when it's needed, but also step away when it is not. Still, they need to go through their own processes.
They need to decide for themselves, right?
Yes, indeed, it's a free will.
Absolutely. And it's hard to sometimes, when you know what it is and you want to share something and you're like, it's going one ear, the other ear, and that's it.
Yes. But also, I also always how to say, hold myself back, because I had many injuries myself, so I have my own experiences and my own ways of dealing it. But it's never ever that I can tell someone else, yes, I know what it is and I feel your pain and you must do this and that.
Yeah.
Never ever, because it's not, you are not in the skin of that person, and that person the same thing can experience in million of different ways.
Because the mental, the emotional, and everything else that goes with an injury, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's how say it, of course it helps me in my work, because a dancer doesn't need to tell me too much. I know what is tendu, I know what is adagio, and I know how come it comes that the calves get tight, Bournonville style. So these things, it's not, you don't need to explain me why. So it saves time.
Yeah.
And I think time for a dancer during an injured period is the most important thing,
Yeah. But then, so you decided to be a physiotherapist. You knew that this is what you wanted to do, but then you did like 100 different things on the side, right? You are an osteopath as well, and then you studied a lot of different other methods. So that's quite fascinating.
Yes, but I think all this I did with this inner urge for me to give back something to the dancer again. So everything let's say I finished the physiotherapy school. Then I did my master in the sports physio. I was searching for a dance physio, but there was no such possibility. So there is no such specific specialization. So I took a sports physio, and that gave me a lot, because yes, we were like a dancer is an athlete.
Well, and that's the problem. We're not considered as athletes, yet we are athletes and artists, and that's the hard part to put together, right?
Yes, it's a hard thing to combine, indeed. That's, but I think that's another thing. Maybe during the rehabilitation or prevention, you can be focused on the athletic part, and the rest, is the artistic part. You cannot. You cannot do one or the other.
Yeah, no, you need both, exactly. So that's where I think, the mental and the emotional, understanding is super important. And I think it's completely overridden in the ballet right now. So.
It is indeed. And because with any physical injury comes, dissatisfaction with emotional distress.
And sometimes it's emotional distress that creates an injury as well. I mean,
As well, both ways. Exactly. It's so related that you cannot have or one or the other.
Yeah.
It's impossible, but indeed it is very much neglected. But I suppose because of the especially I think classical companies, big companies, they have such a rhythm that it's just like a fabric,
turnover as well. People come and go, and
yes, also
disposable.
Yes, it's a great pity, because you miss or you dispose so many or so much talent, I think, that could become something that explosive, artistically speaking, no? And so that part of combining the physical, emotional, mental, it's missing support.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on that, but it's hard to know how to
combine. Yes.
Because as we said, even if somebody is injured and you can help them with what you can say, but on the mental and emotional, they really need to get involved if they want to have a result, right? They need to really dive into it. There's no other way. I mean, you don't have to do it, but if you want to make a change or anything, you really have to pay attention, right? It's all about being conscious of what's happening.
Yes, and I think it's also show that during the injury, this sort of moment comes when you need to stop. So physically you are stopped, you cannot perform. And usually that's when the learning process, emotional, mental, can start. Without that, you are just going. I think it involves, how to say, it just takes you over the system. That you become a system.
It eats you, right?
As a whole.
So but so you decided to study that. So how smooth was this transition for you? I mean, were you okay stopping dancing? Were you looking forward to something else? Were you ready?
Yes, I must say I was lucky again that I was ready from inside.
That's important.
In my guts, you know. I maybe did not consciously perceive it that way because, of course, you just want to go and catch up with the system, no? But I had actually quite like most of my injuries were knee injuries. And by the end, I had really no ligaments there left. And so that was my, the recovery became so frequent that it was only dancing with pain or thinking, can I do this? Can I go on my knee on this one, or should I change to another one? You know, and it was really stressful, mentally stressful, because nothing went without thinking. You know, you just could not go free. Enjoy and be in the movement, or enjoy the movement, or be in the role, think of the things that always were important to me. So to step out of my own body and be something else while I'm on stage, and I could not. I was stuck in my body that was not catching up with
that image, you know, because for me it was also, stage was like coming out of my body, you know, and being something else, right? It was a different dimension.
You forget all your limitations, all your bended knees, all your
exactly. Thank God, because if I had to think about that, then I would never have danced, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Me too. Me too. I would not want to look at myself at all. Wow, hide it from me. But you step out of and you go into the world, that your imaginary world, no? And probably that's what you also transmit, because that's the energy that you, I don't know, with a movement, we make energy, no? So, and that energy is invisible, it's only maybe felt by the audience, no?
So you just become light. Yeah,
exactly. And you cannot catch it in the photo or in the movie, or you cannot. It's impossible for now.
You're
right. So when the body said, I need more attention. I was very often in the physio room, daily on the table. And then I sort of wait, you know, do I want to go on with pain, repeating the same things that I already did? So I had some like role or something that I wanted to do still. So for me, it was a nice sort of moment to decide, do I want to proceed repeating things with pain, or I change and I go to do something else, which was always interesting for me, any kind of other thing outside of the ballet. So that transition, it sort of came naturally to me. Of course, mentally, it took me some years to accept. 2 years, I think.
But you were busy, so I mean that also helps, right? When you take a direction and you say, you know, you gave yourself another challenge, because I mean, becoming a physiotherapist is not exactly easy, right? After you've had a full career.
Yes, that helped me enormously, because I had no time to think about, maybe I could just still do something in the rehearsal, you know, in the class, or to perform on stage. Never ever a moment. That was very good from the study. And also, then my first one was born. So again, I was not. It was very busy, and that indeed helped me and also I like the study. I think that is also another challenge for dancer that needs to stop.
It's nice to use your mind at some point, right? And have something stimulation that requires your something else than your body, for sure.
Exactly. And indeed, you need to. I think the biggest, what I analyze myself, the biggest challenge is to find something else that would give you where you could put so much passion that you did before.
Because it's hard after dancing to find something that satisfies you as much, right? Because as a dancer, you're 100% in what you're doing, you know, with your own belly button and the mirror. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have a new life now. What is it?
Yes, that's really true. It's like two different lives. I feel I had two different lives.
And we're lucky. We actually, I mean, it's a hard thing that we have to do, but we're very lucky because we're still young enough to do something else.
Exactly.
And we have to do something else. You know, it's not like we do 50 years in the same field and do the same thing.
Exactly. Well, that is also a challenge to renew yourself. I think it's I respect the dancers that go on until they really cannot anymore. I respect because it's also something that to admire.
Also because I think after after 30 your stress levels are different as well. You know, your expectations are much bigger, and you know, so it's different to dance after, you know, your 20s. It's just like, wow, whatever, you know, give me everything to dance. And then after you become a bit more mature, and then you have expectations from yourself but also from others. It's a very different. So dancing till 40 45 is it's a lot of work. I mean, you know, on all levels.
I respect those that do that, and indeed, and for everybody it's their own own way. We need to find our own ways. But I'm now I'm happy to help wherever in their road that person is, or wherever the dancer is. So
you have a beautiful, I mean, I can see behind you have a beautiful office. So you're on the Lauriergracht in Amsterdam. So I will put anyway your websites in the below in the video, because if people are in Amsterdam, they want to find you. I'm sure most people know you already, but you know, if you don't, you have to go and meet Ruta for sure.
Nice.
And so, but how was COVID? Those 2 COVID years were quite a challenge for most people. How was it for you?
Well, because here in the Netherlands they had for the paramedic professions, they had only 2 months of the lockdown.
Okay.
So in total, I was only not able to work for 2 months. And then later, because here in the Netherlands they separate physiotherapy from osteopathy, and because I do both. Osteopathy is considered alternative medicine, so it's not as acknowledged as the physiotherapy. And so the government decided to let work the physiotherapists, but to close all the alternative practices, you know. And so I was working. For me, it was not a huge change. And so also on top of that, all the people that were coming for the osteopathy, suddenly they were going to the physiotherapist, you know. So it was even more work than usual.
Okay.
Funny rules, but the same person, but it's such rules. So for me,
so you only had 2 months to rest a little bit.
Yes, and then was go.
Okay. All right.
Like dancing years.
Wonderful. So, Ruta, if you had one advice to give to a young dancer that start, you know, their career today, what would that be?
Yeah, I know at that moment you don't feel it because you are super self-critical, but enjoy enjoy every moment, every second, every imperfect line, every imperfect jump, every imperfect turn. Enjoy that you are able to do it, because very quickly it all passes. It's such a moment in time that it is to enjoy to the maximum.
Yeah.
Like anything else, of course, but yeah, it is a very precious thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Also because dancers are good at complaining and feeling, you know, either sorry for themselves or being so hard on themselves. So enjoying what they're doing is a good advice.
Well, enjoying, you know, in a deep sense. It's not
Yeah.
a superficial, oh, I like myself. No, it's not
No,
that.
but I
It's
mean,
a true
taking
enjoyment.
pleasure.
Taking pleasure, yes, yes. It's not when, I mean, you can enjoy to the maximum when nobody is looking at you, no audience, nobody to evaluate you, nobody to applaud you. You can enjoy still your dance,
The
no?
process.
So it's the process, is the moment. It's just the moment, and yeah, that and your physical body allows you to do it, because yeah, in
Young
my
and
experience.
beautiful.
Young and beautiful, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, no regrets should be, and yeah, to give it all for the art. I would not, how say, take back anything actually. Not one injury of mine, because I could still enjoy it or dance.
Yeah, beautiful.
So yeah, maybe it's not a very practical advice, but
Yeah, but it's nice to be reminded of this, you know, because it's so demanding to be a dancer, and you know, it's very easy to lose yourself into like, oh my God, you know, I'm tired, I have to do all this, and but in the end you have to see, okay, does it give you pleasure at all, you know, to actually push? Because I mean, I like to be tired, but a lot of people hated that, you know. So
yeah,
it's important to reevaluate that, and it is tiring, it is demanding, it's like it's a bit superhuman what we're being asked, but if we don't enjoy it, it's really hard to do
yeah.
that job, I think, you know.
Yeah, and I think also there are techniques, all kinds of little how say, helping points can be
Tools, yeah.
collected from therapists like you, therapists like me, therapists like yeah, any sort of little bit helps, and it gives you a bit of a guidance how to make yourself not so grumpy and not so like everything depressed, everything is wrong, everything is, you know, when you are tired, anybody is depressed, you know, becoming depressed when you are chronically tired.
Yeah.
That's how to say, it's easy to say about it, enjoy, and but indeed in daily life you become really chronically tired, so your mind just physically it works differently. So and yeah, in I think every little, and also I would advise to not focus only on one, let's say, a person or therapist or who advises, to listen, to be open to listen to many,
Yeah,
and then choose what fits
find the way
you,
to help yourself
to
so you can
find
enjoy it.
exactly, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's easy to speak afterwards, yes.
No, but
But
in the end, I mean, I think, I mean, I did it my way, you know, like the stage for me was like a remedy. So, you know,
exactly,
it was my little carrot, you know, I mean,
exactly.
we all do what we
That's
can,
true.
right?
Yeah, for me too. I was also like this. Give me the stage, everything will be fine.
It's true. Okay,
But
with
also,
that, thank you.
yes,
Sorry, did you
no,
want to add something?
no. It's good. It's good.
No,
It
I
was
mean, I'm
lovely
happy you
talking
want
to
to
you.
spend more time with me. So if you have something to add,
Now that I see you after 10 years
no.
or more.
Yeah, it's been 10. Last time I came was 10 years ago for the 50th anniversary, actually. I mean, I don't even know if I saw you then.
No, I was not there. I
Oh, you
went to
said,
the last one, 60, no, and
no, I wasn't.
it was so nice to. Well, so let's plan for the
Okay, 70.
for the next. Yeah.
Okay, Ruta, thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best in your practice. And I hope many people will come and see you. I mean, I know you have a lot of people already, but you know, don't miss that lady. She's really worth it on all levels. So
Thank you very much, Sabine. It was lovely to see you and to speak to you.